We're having a fucking baby.
We're in it. We're recording.
Sweet.
Let's start recording.
It's exciting.
Yeah. It's official, bruh.
I finally got invited to the podcast. I've been trying to get in for a long time.
Yep. You made it.
It took Scott losing interest.
Pretty much. That's all it took right there. All right. Well, here's episode 1.
Yay!
Ho, 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 ho,
I'm
ho.
so excited about this.
Remember Arsenio Hall? Does anybody remember?
Yes. Long fingers.
Yep. Cool. Well, this podcast is about...
This podcast is great because I've been pregnant for 10 months and I have really needed someone to talk to.
That's right. This is Be Your Therapy podcast.
It is. It's hard. This has been the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. And I've been through some shit. This ain't no joke.
Well, why don't you, first of all, I want to go do a short synopsis on how we met? Or is that boring?
That's the best part of everything.
Oh,
Our story of how we met, I think, is just the cutest thing in the world.
it's pretty cool.
I was way more in love with you than you were in love with me back in the day. I think it was a magical, beautiful thing where the stars aligned and we were meant to be together.
Mm-hmm. I believe that.
I'll never forget that day in the hallway. I know what I was wearing that day. I was 16 years old. I might have been 15.
Was it overalls?
Uh-huh.
Look at that.
Wearing overall. I think I've told the story so many times that you
No,
know.
I remember too.
No, you don't.
Yes,
You're
I do.
stealing that. But I was wearing a shirt from Gap that I'm pretty sure I stole with
You
Tata.
You used to be a little thief back in the day, I heard.
Yeah, I didn't have any money, so I had to steal it. But I was walking somewhere. It was during the middle of class, so there was no one in the halls. And I was walking somewhere, and you were going down the hall parallel to me, and you stopped. So we saw each other down the other hallway that was going perpendicular.
You claim that's the first time we saw each other. I think it was when I was by Matt Squires talking at his locker. That was right there close to the
Senior lobby.
And I looked over and you were standing right there, and I was just like staring at you. I was like,
I remember that day. I think, though, I do remember you staring at me that day. But that day in the hallway was like just me and you stopped. And I stopped because I got excited because I knew who you were. And then it was just downhill from there. But I'll never forget that day. And then, so I knew who you were at that point. And I knew that you were staring at me that one day. And then Meredith is the one that found out about you having that show. And I was like, that's that guy that stares at me all the time. I got to go to that show.
weirdo. Oh, man.
But I thought you were so hot. And I was so into you, even though I had a boyfriend. But I was so excited about this guy that was staring at me that I risked it all.
Such scary times, you know, being a young adolescent kid, especially moving around so much in a new school, and you see a hot girl, it's like, how am I ever going to go up to her? But luckily, I knew some people.
Yeah. And luckily, I was horny for band guys. Because as soon as I heard that you were having that show, I was 16. I didn't even have my license yet, I don't think.
What?
Meredith did, and I hadn't gotten mine yet. And she was the one that found out about your show, and I snuck out of my house because my mom told me I couldn't go. Snuck out. We drove 16. That's so young now that we're old.
Somber Reptile, if anybody remembers where that place was. That was throwback.
Was that in Douglasville?
No.
Did I drive to Atlanta that night?
Yeah. It's
And
off
then-
Marietta Street.
Okay. Yeah, so me and Meredith, late at night, young as fuck, drove down there. Both snuck out of our house. Because it was like a late show. It was like 10 or something, right?
Yeah.
And then I didn't come home. We stayed over at Drew's.
Yeah, stayed over at Drew's. Had a big party afterwards. I remember I think we stole booze from the venue. I mean, it was crazy. Young, fucking dumb kids.
I got in a lot of trouble. My boyfriend found out the next day. because I told him.
Oh, man.
Because we made out that night.
What?
Yeah.
That was a secret.
Yep. Matt Squires found out and almost killed everybody.
A little punk pressured me. All right. Well, yeah. And then we parted ways and we got back together and now we're married.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And now we're having a baby.
We're having an effing baby.
We're having a fucking baby.
Any minute now.
When I say any minute, we went to the doctor last Thursday and they checked. They gave you a little cervix check.
A little cervix poke.
Little poke. And there's no...
Not opening yet.
Not yet.
I wasn't then.
But she still said any day. She said the words any day.
Yeah. Been working hard at opening up that cervix the last couple days.
Yeah.
Lots of working.
But we tried. We tried to have a baby for a while.
Yeah. I stopped taking birth control like 7 years ago. For real. Your sister, Alejandra, is the one that told me when she got pregnant with Penelope.
Mm-hmm.
She told me that I need to stop taking birth control, like, because sometimes that stuff can do like a year to get out of your system if you've been taking it forever.
Yikes.
So I stopped taking it like 2 years into us dating. And then it took us about almost 5 years to actually get pregnant.
Yeah.
And that's with no birth control, and then us also tracking ovulation and getting sperm tested. Your sperm.
Yeah, that was a weird thing. I forgot about that. We did the in-home.
Yeah, we did the at-home and then stick it in your pocket and go.
Yeah, we didn't want to whack off. Whacking off in the doctor's office wasn't as romantic as doing it in the house into a cup.
You still had to whack off. You still couldn't touch. We couldn't. It has to be very clean.
Yeah, it's
specimen.
very strange. But my boys were good.
Yeah, you got checked.
I totally thought all those years of partying and things, cigarette smoking and all that stuff was gonna.
You know Theo Vaughn's sterile.
Damage. Oh, really?
Yeah, I heard Crystalia saying that about him the other day.
Dang.
You can't have children.
That's rough.
Yeah. But yes, for some reason, one morning I woke up and took my routine pregnancy test. I've been doing the same thing. It was like 2 years straight of me actually tracking my ovulation and then 2 weeks later taking a pregnancy test. Every single month for about 2 years I did that.
We were used to seeing negative.
Yeah, so
it was like an everyday thing. Like
a couple times a month I would take a pregnancy test and it'd be negative. So my routine had become during that week when I'm supposed to be checking, wake up in the morning, my first pee of the day, I'd go pee on a stick. I was just so used to seeing it negative that I would just put I wouldn't even look at it. I would just put the stick on the sink in the bathroom or something and go about my business, then come back and check it later, which usually just meant I'd throw it in the trash can. So that morning, I just forgot about it. I peed on a stick and went up and went in the kitchen, ate breakfast and had coffee and just kind of did my morning routine. And then an hour later came back in the bedroom to wake you up so we could go to the mall to get new phones. And then I went in the bathroom to get ready and I saw that stick was still sitting there and it had 2 lines on it.
It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. I was like still trying to wake up. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, I said, oh my God.
I was like, no way. Let me see this thing.
You said, when I showed it to you and it had 2 lines on it, you said, what does that mean? I said, you know what it means. That's exactly how it said. And then after that, I took another one. And then after that, we still didn't believe it. We went to the mall and did all of our shit, but we still didn't believe it. So we went and bought the digital one. That said the word pregnant on it.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then that came back and it said the word pregnant. And I was like, oh my God. We called my sister. We called your sister.
Yeah.
Your aunt.
Mm-hmm. And the craziest part was we were so early in catching the pregnancy because I knew that I was supposed to be taking a test. So it was literally, I was 2 weeks pregnant pretty much. That when we called the doctor, they said to come in at 7 weeks. So we had to wait 7 weeks.
Which is insane. And you can't tell anybody. So you're like just sitting there with this huge secret that you want to tell everybody. And it's just like, what the hell? And then how do you how does she take care of herself? Like you know nothing. Like, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to not eat and all this stuff? We don't know anything. We haven't even seen the doctor yet. But we still have to wait 7 weeks.
Mm-hmm. It was very, very stressful. I don't even know how many pregnancy tests I took up until like 10 weeks. I took a pregnancy test at least once a week, but probably more than once a week. Because you can't feel it at that point. You don't know what's going on. You just feel it's hard. It's a hard thing to be like, I'm pregnant, but
You
you
didn't get
can't.
morning sickness.
No, I just felt really shitty, but I didn't ever get sick like that.
That's lucky.
I guess. I was really depressed, really emotional. But I didn't vomit. I got really tired and grumpy.
It was rough a little bit.
Yeah.
Those first
Been a-
couple weeks.
It's
My
been a
voice
rough
is doing
go.
weird things.
Well, it happens.
So now we're getting ready for our first baby, and that's been a journey. We painted, I think one of the first steps was painting the nursery,
Mm-hmm.
right? Was that the first?
Well, there was a lot of steps.
One of.
That was one of the first steps at like towards the end. Like third trimester, like, okay, it's real. She's gonna be here in just a couple months.
Yeah.
Gotta get her bedroom ready.
Mhm.
I was too scared to get the room ready for the longest time because I was just so scared the whole time that we might not make it. She might
Yeah.
not make it to us. So I didn't want to get the room ready and then,
Get your hopes up.
yeah, something happens and we lose her. But it was like 2 months ago that you painted the room.
Yeah.
We were definitely in the third trimester and we finally
With your aunt and your
decided.
sister.
Yep. It was Aunt Jenny's idea to get it started. She was like, let's make a date. Let's plan it. I'm coming over there and painting that shit.
And now it looks awesome.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So beautiful.
Yeah.
I couldn't have hoped for a better nursery.
It's perfect.
I've never decorated a room or painted a room or done anything on my own. Not on my own, but like us together. I've never just decorated something and it turned out way better than I would have even expected.
Pretty fancy in there.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Some decals, some trees. You made a sign. We got the changing table on deck. All her clothes. My sister gave us all of my niece's stuff, who's 5 now.
Yep.
We have all her like clothes for like the next 5 years.
And on top of that, everyone has just been giving us a ton of cute clothes. So cute. So we got brand new stuff and Penelope stuff, which is pretty much brand new too, because she only wore things once and then now they're
So
ours.
if you're pregnant and you have friends, don't buy anything.
Yeah, that's like a good. But if you don't have friends,
Then
save up your money.
yeah.
If you don't have friends and family,
Then
Sorry.
yikes.
find a good thrift store.
Yeah, find a good thrift store. But yeah, everything was given to us. We're super lucky. Thinking like, oh my God, now we're about to have a baby. How are we gonna afford this? That was like really scary, but
Yeah,
seriously,
me and you have gone the last like 5-6 years not worrying about money
yeah,
at all, and we don't have like great jobs, but we make enough to where if we want to go on a vacation, we can go on a vacation. If we want to buy something, we can go buy something. We don't really have to worry about it. Our bills are paid.
yeah,
But now it feels like we're the poorest people in the world.
yeah.
Now I feel like a bum.
We're not at bum status, but yeah, I mean it's a lot more stressful.
It's funny. Today, when I bought that bassinet, I had the choice between that one and then there's the Halo. The Halo is that nice one at Target that the one I point it out all the time. It like swivels and everything.
Yeah, you should have got the nice one.
It was $60.
We could have afforded that.
It was 60, and the one that I bought was 40, and I was like, I'll just get this one.
Being too thrifty.
Well, she's only going to be in that thing for a couple months, and it's
True
lightweight and super tiny, so whatever. But it was that $20 that was a deciding factor. I was like,
$20.
I need that $20 for gas.
So you think we're ready? We have the baby seat in the car, or the car seat in the car. I mean, we got our bags packed.
Yep. Got her diaper bag packed.
Yeah.
That's just for the car. We don't even need any of that stuff in the hospital, but just in case the car breaks down on the way home, which that's a real threat these days.
Yeah.
We can change your poopy diaper in the car.
Yep.
We could live in that car for a day if we needed to.
Let's not hope it gets to that.
Well,
But
scary times.
we're ready. We got 2 dogs. We've got your cousin coming to watch the dogs. I mean, we've got everything lined up to where this thing is happening.
Oh Oh yeah, it's when it happens.
Every day I go to work, somebody's like, "Did you have a baby yet? Did you have a baby yet?"
I get text messages every day. How are you feeling? And I'm like, I feel fine.
Literally, so you're how many weeks? Like
39.
39 exactly, or what's the
Wednesday is 39, so I'm whatever. Don't make me count that right now.
Yeah, Wednesday's 39.
Yeah, and today's Monday.
Hoo-hoo.
So 38 and 5 days or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. Man. It feels like I'm a million weeks pregnant because she's trying to bust through my vagina right now. Feels like I have a bowling ball in between my legs.
Yikes.
Yeah, I can't even describe it. Like, that's a very accurate. Because, you know, like a 6-pound bowling ball, she might be 8 pounds now. Just imagine 8 pounds sitting on top of your pelvis.
That's rough. I don't know.
It feels like my pelvic bone's about to split in half. It's fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Fun. Every time I sit down to pee, I feel like the world is going to fall out.
Well, so when do we find out about, like, there's a breastfeeding, like, person there, right? That, like, teaches you everything. That's like her specialty. Like, you go to school to be
a boob and baby teacher.
Really?
Yeah, because it's really difficult, evidently.
I wonder what that practice is called.
Lactation class? Something like that?
Lactation,
She's a lactation
specialist? Consultant.
Evidently, it's really hard because, like what I was telling you earlier, like you have to release your breast milk. It's not just there. Like if you just sucked on my titty right now, breast milk wouldn't come out.
Take it easy.
Yeah, believe me, you would have known by now.
Oh.
You try to suck on the titties every night, and I would tell him not to do that because that shit hurts right now.
Mm-mm.
He forgets. I'm like, ow, my tits are sore, and he'll be like, and 2 seconds later, he's gnawing on them.
God, babe.
You forget. You start squeezing them. I tell you how bad they hurt, and then 2 seconds later, you're slapping them around. Anyways,
that's my short-term memory.
Yeah, it is. But it is. I'm still very new to this too. I'm just learning things as I go, so don't quote me on any of the things that I say. I'm not pro, but it's not something that just necessarily comes naturally. You know, the baby sometimes won't latch on. Sometimes she won't take your breast. You gotta like. I watched a weird video.
I mean, so what? Like, let's talk about back in the day. You know, before modern medicine, that baby would die.
Well, I'm sure it happened.
Or they used to feed it like cow milk.
No, well, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think that they would give the baby cow milk. I mean, maybe they did. I don't know. I know that, like, worst case scenario, if she doesn't take my milk right away, the most important thing is that first batch that I create is called colostrum.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll put it in a little syringe and squirt it in their mouth. That's what they did to Jesse and Michael's baby.
Oh, wow.
She wasn't latching on. Remember, Jesse had a really hard time?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes they won't take your boob, but they need that nutrient. So you have to pump and get them like at least like a teaspoon of it or something. I think it's a teaspoon or tablespoon or something like that. They have to have that. So yeah, sometimes they don't take it. That's why you have to have a specialist there to help you figure out what's going on, because every baby's different. Every boob is different.
Man.
So it'll be lots of fun.
Right.
And then I'm supposed to pump 8 to 10 times a day. Because after you get that first flow out, it just keeps coming.
That's aggressive.
But that's food.
But it could fill up and like hurt.
Yep, your boobs could, what's it called? There's a word for it. Where they get so swollen that they like almost literally rupture.
Oh my God. Talk about what how it gets released, how you were telling me earlier.
Well, from what I think I understand is it's the hormone. You have to release your breast milk by like a signal, and I think it's from the hormone oxytocin. So it doesn't just come out, like your body has to release it, and you can feel it evidently. So Jessica says you can like feel it come out when it releases. It just goes whoosh. It doesn't come pouring out of you, but you can feel it kind of release into your system.
But you were saying it's triggered by like seeing the baby?
Yeah, the baby triggers it.
Wow.
That's why, like, do you remember seeing like that there's been a lot of them, but I remember one specifically where this one lady was able to save this baby. She was a cop, and there was like a baby suffocating in a car or something. Something happened, but this cop that rescued her was able to breastfeed her.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So it's not like it's just, I don't know how it works. You don't just always have, you're not always just ready to go with breast milk.
Right. I mean, I totally didn't know that. I thought like once you hit a certain part of your pregnancy, you just start producing this milk and there it's just there.
I mean, it kind of is, but like you have to have, like the baby.
But I didn't know there was like a trigger for actually
Yeah.
to let it flow out.
Yeah.
Wow.
We'll learn that all from our lactation specialists. But yeah, it's like a magical
It's like when
thing.
Kevin was trying to get Pam from the office to lactate her, sure he was like crying at her chest. Meh!
Trying to signal it.
Yeah.
Signal those titties.
Oh, that's a funny scene.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
You think we're gonna do good?
Nah.
We got this thing.
Oh no, it's real scary.
She's gonna be great. Her name's Isabella Sue, named after your mom. Middle name after your mom.
Mm-hmm.
Isabella. I don't know how we came up with that. I think we just
Did it.
Yeah.
Real quick. Some people struggle with names. We were pretty quick. We were gonna name her Becky Sue. That was her name for. That was pretty hardcore. Going to be her name, and then it just changed suddenly. We were gonna name her Becky Sue Lares. And then I started to feel weird about it because my grandma just had a fucking cow when she heard.
Well, Becky is your mom's name.
Yeah, so my
Becky
grandma.
Sue.
When my grandma found out we wanted to name our baby Becky Sue, my 9-year-old grandmother immediately started bawling and said, "No!"
Because your mom passed away.
Yes.
So it's a sore. It's kind of tough.
And my aunt started crying. It was just too negative. Everyone started crying when I told them the name of my baby. So we gave it the old switcheroo.
Still kept the Sue, which Isabella Sue rolls off the tongue.
It's super cute. And Izzy's her nickname, so Izzy Sue.
She's going to be a rock star, I think.
Yeah.
Play guitar and drums and not smoke pot.
She'll probably smoke pot. I don't know. Her parents are both super scared of weed. So she might have that scared gene.
I wasn't scared as a kid.
I was scared to smoke pot every single time I did it. Every time I did it, I was scared, but just did it because I wanted so bad for it to be fun. But pretty much every single time I've smoked, it'll be fun for a second, and then it's like, oh shit, I'm scared again.
It's intense. I feel like it's way more intense these days. Back then, we were smoking like some dark green. Called it Doja.
I don't even know. I've smoked some stuff before to where it like sent me into another world.
That Reggie Miller.
Yeah, whatever that is.
The weed wasn't as good, so you could smoke fucking blunt and you'd be fine after like an hour or 30 minutes. Now you smoke like one hit of this like shit that glows in the dark and it lasts like 5 hours.
That sounds so not fun.
It's not. But yeah, so her due date's 4/24. I'm just like, please don't let her come on 4/20. Please, I don't need her to have that peer pressure of her fucking stoner. Izzy, come on, bro, it's your birthday. Smoke this pot. She doesn't need that.
What are you gonna do if she shows an interest in marijuana, like in middle school? You know,
whoa, way too young.
Isn't that when you started?
No.
I think I was like 14 when I did it the first time.
I mean, yeah, I tried it super young, but I didn't really start smoking it until like high school.
Yeah, I was like 16, 17 when I actually like the first time I actually got high. You know, you always think you're high those first couple times, but you're not.
And you really
and then like when you really get high, you're like, ooh, whoa. I will never forget the first day I got high. It was terrifying.
I'll never forget. I won't say any names, but I got high with one of my best friends, and we put on.
Why can't you say any names?
I don't know. Some people might
I know
not
I
want
with Meredith.
Yeah,
and listened to Enya and ate orange popsicles in Mammo's house.
No one wants their shit out there. Everybody don't want their shit out there. But we watched Tommy Boy, and the first couple seconds of the first scene, Like we were laughing so hard, we had like tears running in our eyes, and we couldn't even talk. And we laughed throughout that whole movie harder than I've ever laughed at that movie, and it was like great.
No, that movie's good forever.
Oh, now we're like best friends for life. It was all because of that. I'm sure.
Shout out to you, buddy.
Was not him. He
Yeah.
does not do that.
He still does that.
No, he doesn't.
He does. Everybody does.
Everybody does. But yeah, no, I don't know. Gotta have a good talk. You know, I don't know
the
when is
best
too
thing-
young. When is it okay?
Well, the best thing that my mom ever did for me that scared me straight with weed was telling me, weed's cool. Weed was fine by itself, but you never know what's in weed. My mom had a really bad experience, like almost died because she smoked a joint that was laced with acid when she was a kid, like 15, 16 years old. And it was like the most terrifying experience of her life because she was tripping really hard for hours and hours and hours. She thought she was locked in a coffin, but she was just underneath the kitchen table.
Oh my god, that's
Yeah,
like,
she said she was banging on the top of the table, like trying to get out. So she was just trying to get high with her friends and smoke a little bit of weed, back in the 70s. And she ended up doing acid accidentally. So that's what, like, that story in itself is what scared me and kept me from, I guess, really. I only smoked if I knew and it was like super safe. I mean, whatever.
I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying.
I mean, I smoked with random people all the time, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
At the beginning, I'm sure
But
you were like,
I was scared. I
Yeah.
knew that I was doing something that could potentially be laced
yikes.
with acid. And just cross my fingers and be like, please let this not be anything scary.
Right.
Maybe that's why I thought that I was tripping out every single time that I smoked weed, and that's why it's so scary to me.
I am tripping. Actually, I'm just high.
I'm just high. I'm not in a
I'm
coffin.
hungry now.
But yeah, we just got to warn her that she said my mom said the same thing about pills. My mom was good.
Yeah.
I like her tactics. She said
You could die.
that everyone's different. She's like, sometimes people take a pill and it just kills them.
My
She said
god.
about ecstasy. I'll never forget that I've never taken ecstasy before.
Yeah.
And it's always because my mom would be like, some people just die as soon as they take it, which is true. There's been cases of people that can't handle it and they just die. They have seizure or a stroke or heart attack. I'll never take ecstasy because my mom scared the shit out of me.
Oh my god. Imagine if one of our friends just died right there on the spot, like at a party.
Did ecstasy.
But no, she's gonna be like the smartest person ever. I know people that talk about their kid, they're like, I think she's a genius.
Yeah.
And I'm super dumb.
Kids these days have.
Well, now they do like math different and everything. How are we gonna?
Me
We have
and
to
you are
like
gonna-
relearn everything.
Me and you are gonna have to go back to school, basically.
We will.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna have to learn with her.
Yeah.
Because I don't fucking remember anything.
I can barely read. Serious.
Yeah, me too.
I know.
Think about it.
We struggle.
But yeah,
We don't even
I
read
mean,
books anymore. I'm excited to be able to read books to her. I've got all these books in my bedroom that I just don't read. I get them, I pick up a book, a really good book that I'm excited about. I read like 2 chapters and I'm like, this is hard.
Yeah, I mean it's tough.
And I put it down. I'd rather go watch TV or listen to a podcast.
That's right. Listen to this podcast.
Mm-hmm. It's a good one. It's gonna be a big hit.
Huge. If you're still listening, no, but this is exciting. It's coming down to crunch
It's
time.
terrifying. Let me tell you
Very
something.
scary too.
Terrifying. I don't think that Alberto realizes how scared I am about what's about to happen to my body. Laura, one of our best friends, almost died on the table giving birth to her kid, and that's
Yeah,
why
it's really
it
scary.
scared her from ever having a kid again. She's one and done because she literally almost didn't make it.
Yeah. My friend was like, they pulled the baby out and they tried to show the dad, and he was like, get that thing away from me. I don't even know him yet. Is my wife okay?
Seriously. Same thing with your sister. With Alejandra, she had a really scary labor. And they had to have an emergency C-section after hours and hours. They almost, like, it's just scary because you could lose the baby. There's so much stuff I could get. There's preeclampsia that could kill me. There's just, and then, so best case scenario is everything works out great and she's delivered fine, but my body is still wrecked. No matter what. Even if it's a beautiful vaginal delivery where it doesn't take a whole long time, just like the average time, and she just slides out of there like a pro and she's happy and healthy, that's great. But my body is going to be wrecked.
For a little bit. You
Toe
bounce
up
back.
from the flow up.
You'll bounce back, boo.
Lasagna panties.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's what I've
Lasagna
heard.
in your panties?
All over the place.
Yikes.
Lasagna. And big, floppy, scary titties. Crazy hormones. I'm going to be crying all the time. I'm going to be in pain.
Floppy, scary titties?
Yeah, they're going to turn into porno stars' titties here shortly. And then they're just going to go get deflated.
Mm-hmm.
Because 8-10 times a day pumping breast milk out of them.
Yep.
It's over. My body's gone.
No. People bounce back. You're going to be fine.
Well, it's going to be a really rough couple weeks.
Yeah.
That hospital, giving birth is going to be really scary and hard and very painful and very scary.
You're going to have a lot of support. I'm going to be right there coaching you along.
Oh my God, I'm probably going to want to punch you.
Maybe.
If you're coaching me along and you're not even in any pain, you're just like, you can do this. I'm going to be so mad at you.
I don't sound like that,
You can,
first of all.
Babe, you got this. It's fine.
Come on, bro.
Well, I held your hand while you got a root canal.
Yeah. I'm a wimp. I know. This would be terrifying for me. You're going to be amazing. You're way more brave than I am when it comes to shit like that.
I have no choice. I'm not brave.
But then she's going to come out and it's going to be perfect.
Me and you and baby Izzy.
And 2 dogs.
Yep. It's going to be fun.
Maggie's going to be jealous.
She might be. Or she might just accept
And
it.
Nim's going to protect her.
Yeah, Nim's laying right here on the floor next to me right now. Maggie's upstairs in the bed.
She does not care. Nim loves you.
Yeah, especially right now she does. So yeah, any day.
Any day.
My water's going to break. That's another interesting thing about how that works.
Yeah. So what have you read on that?
It can happen anytime. Sometimes they had to break it for you in the hospital.
Oh man.
Which I've heard isn't very pleasant. But if all goes as planned, it'll just pop one day while I'm walking around. And sometimes women can hear it. It'll make a sound, just like a pop.
Really?
And then it gushes out, and then it keeps gushing out. So you have to sit on a towel on the way to the hospital.
That's what my sister said.
Yeah.
She sat on a towel because it would not stop coming out.
That's what all this is in my stomach, besides baby. That's just, I can tell, that's just
fluid.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's bloody, sometimes it's not.
No, it's always bloody. Just a little bit.
Sometimes it's more bloody than others.
I guess so, yeah.
That's
because Laura was saying it's a lot, but the doctor was saying it just seems like a lot, especially in the shower.
Yeah.
And that's where Laura's broke. Which is the luckiest place in the world.
It does seem like the most fucking perfect place
I know.
ever. And then you could just throw on some adult diapers, right?
Yeah, just stick a pad down
Should
there.
we get some?
Well, we've got those heavy absorbent pads that Stephanie got me. I think that's all we'll need. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be fun.
We call an Uber.
I wonder if that's ever happened. That's had to have happened. What do people do when they don't have a car? Plenty of poor people have babies. What about New Yorkers that don't have cars? They take a cab to the hospital.
They just walk 10 blocks to the doctor's
no,
office,
I
right?
didn't even think about that. Like New York, where a lot of people don't have cars. They got to take cabs to the hospital.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
That's wild. I wonder how much. I wonder
How
what
to bring the baby back?
Gotta get a cab.
You bring the car seat?
Gotta bring the car seat. Oh my God, we gotta look that up. I'm actually gonna look that up right now.
How did New Yorkers go to the... That's what you're going to look up.
How do New Yorkers without cars have babies?
That's hilarious.
How do New Yorkers...
They probably just set up a driving system or something. You would call somebody. You would like hire a driver or something. Right?
I'm typing it in. Hang on. Can't think and do this at the same time.
Just text one of our New York friends.
Kenny, Ask Kenny right now. He has a podcast too. He'll appreciate it.
He does have a podcast.
It's called I'm Not Even on the Poster? Isn't that what it's called? How do New Yorkers without cars get to the hospital when in labor? That's got to be a thing that
Oh
people
my
look
God, you're still typing it?
New York cops help woman in labor get to the hospital. Nope.
There you go. Call the cops.
I would think there'd be like a whole article.
No, I don't think it's such a big deal.
Well, it has to be.
They take the subway, bro.
That's one thing that I noticed when the one time I've been to New York is nobody has a car. Everything's apartments without parking lots. You just take the subway everywhere.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I don't know. Maybe I'll text Kenny right now, actually.
I thought that's what you were already doing.
Nope.
That's got to be a thing. You just go out there. Yeah, but I would think you just go out there and hail a cab. But yeah, you just got to have your car seat with you in hand. Like, we're having a baby. Then every cab would pass you. If you're out there hailing the cab.
Wait, hell no. Yeah. I'm trying
to
to clean up
yeah.
shit.
Nope. On to the next one. That's not worth it. The anxiety. And there's traffic all the time. Oh my goodness.
All right, Kenny's here. Said question. He said, "What are you got?"
Well,
Might be drunk. Let's see. How do people in New York get to the hospital when they are having a baby?
you gotta let them know that we're under the impression that we think that they probably don't have a car.
Since most don't have cars. Right?
He's probably like, dude, we all have cars. That's just a Sex in the City myth.
Right.
I love it that he was so quick to respond. Our New York friend that we met in Puerto Rico, and I thought he was going to murder us because he took us to the jungle out in the middle of nowhere, but he actually ended up being a really nice guy and showed us a good time, and we've been friends with him ever since.
I thought he was going to kill us, remember?
I just said that.
Oh.
This is what I live with, people. Having a husband that never listens.
God. Super nice. And he has a podcast.
Yep.
We need to listen to.
Yes. Kenny Garcia. What'd he say?
He said, Cabot. We had a car when Azalea was born, and we still cabbed it because we didn't want to worry about parking.
Heck yeah. Ask him if he had to bring the car seat in the cab.
Did you bring the car seat? This is crazy.
That is funny.
He's typing. Kenny Garcia, stand-up comedian. Look him up. He's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, so when we met him, me and Alberta went to our first trip. I say out of the country, but because Puerto Rico is not out of the country, but it was it was my first trip, like taking a plane overseas. I'd been on cruises and stuff, but I've never flown overseas to another place. I know it's not another country, but a territory or whatever. A long flight. Longest flight I've ever been on, 4 hours. And Alberto didn't have his passport, so we couldn't go anywhere else. We could go to Puerto Rico. Funnest trip I've ever been on in my entire life. We fell in love with that place.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. We love Guanaca, Puerto Rico. That's where we went. We found this random place on a map. It's a place in Puerto Rico that no one ever goes to. No one knows what it is. We went, and we had the best time ever. And we just happened to meet this guy. Where did we...
We met him right there by the pool. Just met him by the pool.
Didn't the manager of the hotel was like, "Oh, you got to meet my friend Kenny." Remember?
Oh, Jose? Was it Jose?
The manager of the hotel. But we met them one day. Yeah, it was by the pool that we actually met them. We were like, "Oh yeah, the manager told us about you." And then they were like, "Hey," it was Kenny and his girlfriend at the time, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to these waterfalls tomorrow, San Sebastian. You guys should come." And we were like, "Okay, that sounds like a wonderful idea." And then the next morning, it kind of dawned on us it was kind of creepy what we were doing. We met them at McDonald's. These people that we only knew for 5 minutes, literally.
Yeah, literally.
And they drove us. We drove behind them an hour and a half. Drive up into the mountains, up into the middle of nowhere with these two strangers.
Going up that mountain, I was like, "This is it. This is how we die. We're just getting led into a fucking trap."
I was texting people where we were going just in case. Literally, I texted my sister. I did. I'll never forget. I took a screenshot of the map. I texted it to my sister. So just in case we didn't come out. But we did. We parked on the top of this mountain. It was just us. There's nobody else there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we hiked into like the rainforest in Puerto Rico with this stranger. And it was the most magical, beautiful place in the world. We're jumping off waterfalls. He brought his daughter, so that made it a little bit better. She was like 9 at the time.
Right.
So we were jumping off waterfalls with her and swimming in this beautiful, crystal clear water.
Oh my God, that place is incredible.
Yeah, and we've been friends with him ever since. And that was 5 years ago. 4 years ago, yeah.
He came and stayed at our house.
Yeah, he lives in New York. We live in Atlanta. And we've seen him like 3 times since then, but we're still good friends with him.
Went and saw us stand up.
Yeah.
Which is great. And he's killing it. He's been touring and everything. Okay, he writes back. He went home and got the car to bring us home with the car seat. And I was like, what if people don't have that luxury? He goes, she was in the hospital for 2 days, no baby yet. When we first went to the hospital, he goes, I think people bring car seat for cab and even train.
Dang. That's super interesting fact that we just learned on this podcast. See, we're getting smarter already.
That's right.
All it takes is a little bit of research, a little bit.
Our cars are broke down. Uber it with the car seat.
Oh my God. In Georgia, that would be a nightmare. I think in New York, it's like expected. They got a system there. They got an understanding of people.
Yeah, here people would freak out.
They'd be like, no. Well, you're poor. You don't have a car. Ew.
Ew.
Yeah. So luckily we have a car that semi-works.
Every now and then.
The only thing that sucks about our car, the only thing that sucks is our new car. It's our newer car. We bought it 2 years ago. It's a newer model car. But for some reason, whenever we leave it in a parking deck for more than a couple days, it doesn't want to crank when we get back to it. It's happened 2 times. The last 2 vacations that we've gone on, we've left our car parked for 5 nights or whatever in a parking deck, and we come back from traveling for hours and hours and hours, and we get to our car and it's dead, and we have to get it jumped.
If you could imagine the worst way to come back home from a trip, that is it.
Yeah.
Your fucking car not cranking.
Yeah, after a plane ride and then the god-awful airport and being tired, and this last time, pregnant.
Yep.
And then the car not cranking.
Well, that's not going to happen. I'll make sure we
I got jumper cables in the car just in case.
There we go.
Somebody
so, yeah.
Jump that shit.
Well, we're at 45 minutes. Look at that.
God.
First episode.
I don't think you've talked to me for 45 minutes straight.
Ever?
It's been a long time. Were you actually listening to me?
God damn.
Yeah, you're forced to communicate with me.
Oh man, here we go.
This is gonna be so good for our marriage. We're gonna once Izzy's born, this is how we're all gonna communicate. When she's 5 years old and she's being a little shit one day and she gets in a fight on the playground, we're gonna say, all right, little lady, you better prepare some notes. Because tonight, me and you and Dad are going to talk on the podcast.
God, it'd be terrible.
That'll be good.
It's like fucking moving.
No.
I'm running away.
It'll be good because she can come down and talk about it and be like, well, he was being a jerk and he stole my Barbie. I kicked him in the balls. I'll say, well, I understand.
You can't say balls.
Yes, you can. You can say balls and you can kick boys in the balls, but not at school.
Ah.
And only if they deserve it. And stealing your Barbie's kind of cutting it close. But the best thing to do is tell an adult first, and if that doesn't work, then kick him in the balls.
Yes, I agree. All right, well, that's it. We're going to try to do this once a week, twice a week. We'll get the rhythm down, but
we might be back next week with another pre-baby if she hasn't come yet. On the brink of me being into like pure misery and still pregnant.
And if not, we'll do post baby.
Yeah, we'll try. We'll eventually do that one as soon as I can muster up the strength.
Yeah, and we'll let you guys know the update. And then steps on parenthood.
Yeah, we can all learn as we go because we know nothing. Talk about two people who know nothing.
Yeah.
About raising a child or having a baby. We're winging it. We are winging it. This baby is coming into. I don't even know what we have to offer this baby right now.
Yeah. So.
We'll be a good team to listen to for new parents because we're figuring it out too.
Yep. And, further along, we'll take advice and from any listeners, but that's in the future. So.
Yeah. Baby number 2.
Baby number 2. But, all right, that's it. Peace out. See you soon.
Bye.
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 That's all I can say is bye.
Yeah, that's my catchphrase.
We'll work on that.
Bye now.
Peace.